Well, that's at the end of the day, that's where my identity is found. That's where every one of you, man, woman, and child that's listening today is your identity is found there. And that can seem very churchy to some of you, and that can seem like somebody just trying to hook you into a religion. I'm not interested in a religion. I'm interested in the restoration of all people, and that is found through the restoration of the truth. If you grew up in a society and a culture that lied to you from the first day they ever had a chance to teach you something, and they conspired against you to lie about what you were here for, why you were born. I mean, you have a different understanding of the world than what is truth. And you have to go back to what is the truth? What is the truth? And it says literally a hunger for the truth is like the greatest thing that we can have, a hunger for the word and a hunger for the truth. Because if we're willing to seek that hunger, to be like, we need that famine for the word. Like, we need a hunger for the word. We need people that are starving for it. And you know what? Like, I got a lot of inspiration, honestly, from the underground church movements of other countries. I had to read what it was like for other people to suffer for the sake of the truth, because I saw in my culture and in my society, in this very insulated form of Western Christianity that I was raised within, I saw that there was a very passive relationship to war. There was a very indifferent ideology. From when I read the book, first book I ever started reading in my life, I wanted to read Samuel. I wanted to read about David. I wanted to read about mighty men of valor, Gibborim in the scriptures. I wanted to know about what made a soldier in Yahuwah's kingdom, in Yah's kingdom. Like, what does God care about when he says this is a man? Because I saw a version of masculinity in the occult, in the kingdom of darkness, people that embraced anger, rage, wrath, violence, power. I saw power there. But when I would go into churches, I would see impotence. I would see this naked, mutilated, starving, skeletonized version of Jesus defeated. I would see this idol of this passion. I would see this man on a stage who was purporting to read from the most powerful book on the face of the earth as if it was something boring. And it would disgust me, because I could walk into that room with my abusers sitting next to me, and they had no discernment enough to see the demon or the wolf in their midst. And it continued to kind of work on my mind, doubt. And I think this is what has happened is in our society, we look at people that should be raising the dead, casting out demons.
Come on.
We're looking for them. And when we don't see them in the churches, people get disillusioned that means the God that they're talking about doesn't have that power, that he doesn't pour out and dispense that in mighty signs and wonders to his people. That, you know what, some of you need to be saved with fear, like fear. Others of you we need to have compassion on because you're doubting. You know what? There's ways that we need to wage this war deliberately, but you know what? I needed to see bold men. I needed to see men be men. I needed to see fathers to be protectors and not perverters of justice. And it really did not happen in my life growing up. It did not happen in the confines of a church. It happened when I walked out of the structured building they called the church, and I began to go seek it. I began to go seek him. And you know what? At the end of the day, I was seeking with all my heart the truth. And if you set that in your heart, you will assuredly find it. And it's found in your word. Like I did an entire audio recording of the scriptures from Genesis to Revelation, because I started probing people. I'm always perpetually observing mankind. I want to find out why they are the way they are, because I was more so raised by animals. Like animals gave me the mindset and the perspective of people. And I'm trying all the time to understand what makes them the way they are. And when I ask believers, people who purport to be a follower of the Messiah, a Christian, have they read their Bible from Genesis to Revelation? Over 80% have said no. Almost every time they say no. Now, there's definitely some who have, and generally those that have read it more than once, because that hunger got pricked inside them. The Bible does not begin in the book of John. And I can't even tell you how many times I would go to apologetics classes, like master classes, and they would say, you start with John when you do apologetics and street ministry. And I wanted to throw a book through their skull, because they are absolutely ignorant of understanding that your identity is found in Genesis. Your identity is found in the name of our Creator's purpose and call, like the first words he ever gave to man, first commission, first mission statement, be an Obed and be a Shemarai. Like literally he said Shamar and Obed, Obadiah. We get this word Obadiah, obey. Be an obedient, worshipful servant. Be a man who works and labors and passionately gives himself to life and to his calling. It doesn't mean till, T-I-L-L. That's how it's translated. It's garbage. It is the most powerful, important mission that you ever had, which is to work hard and to be a guardian. That's literally the shamar. Shamar is the word we get samurai from, king's guardian. He put him there to work hard, provide, and protect. That was it. Do that job, Adam. That's what you were made to do. And every man, that's what you were made to do on this earth. And you know what? By the sweat of our face, he gave us a weapon to fight against this curse. And if we do that, we can contend against this great dragon. But when we avoid it, like Adam did, where he abdicated his responsibility and sat back when the serpent beguiled his wife, when he sat idly by and he abstained from the combat, when he abstained from weighing into the battle, the world was destroyed. And you know what? This is what all it takes for all of this to go on is for bold men to sit back and become cowards. That's it. If we would become courageous, if we would weigh into the fray, look for our identity from the scriptures, from Genesis to Revelation, we can find a completely different understanding than what we were raised with, than what maybe people have purported to do. And it can develop in us the restoration of our calling.